Hello, and welcome to Old Ephraim Outdoors, your channel for outdoor adventure, emergency prepping, and homesteading. Now sit back and relax. Sponsored by Stranger Bridgerland Book Series, true paranormal stories, perfect for your next campfire outing.
Hey guys, it's author John Olson. I'm here today talking to you guys on Old Ephraim Outdoors. Today we're going to be going through bug out bags, what you need, what you don't need, and kind of going through everything that I have in mind to kind of help you understand why I have it and what you can do to make it a little bit better. And the other thing too is how you can do it on a budget, because right now I know everybody's really struggling. There's a lot going on in the world and you want to be ready, but at the same time, a lot of people don't want to start because they're like, it's so expensive. There's some alternatives to the expensive stuff that you can do to try and get all ready so you can start it right away. First of all, let's talk packs. This is my pack here. I got it on Amazon. It's actually my bug out bag and my hunting and hiking pack because I keep the same stuff in it when I'm hunting. It's great because what I like about it is it's got adjustable straps. It's got a lot of different pockets to distribute the weight, and it has a belt to help lift that off of your shoulders and let your waist carry a lot of that weight. Now, backpacks are going to range greatly, but on Amazon you can start at $25, even a little less, and go up from there. The biggest thing is to get one that works for you and distributes that weight properly on your back. The other thing, the general rule, at least that I go by, is that if the person in your house is old enough to walk a mile on their own, they should have their own pack. That doesn't mean they have everything in it that they need, but it has some of their specific stuff for them if you have younger kids. And again, it's kind of a fun thing. You get their old backpack, you teach them, teach them what they have in there, what they need, what they should get, and you go from there. Now, the vast majority of stuff I'm going to have already packed in here and ready to go. But you're always going to have a few things that you have around the house that you're going to grab and go. The general rule for me is if I can get it all together in 15 minutes, then it will come with me. Few things. When you first are getting ready to go in the emergency, when your pack is ready to go, you want to have one of these. Now, this is just an overnight bag where you would normally put all your toiletries if you were going somewhere. They're not very expensive. I'll put a post on here on how much and where you can find these. But you're going to have this that's not in your pack. In your office, everybody's office, you should have a folder or something like this where you keep all of the documentation that you want to take with you. Your passport, deeds to the house, anything medical that you might need to keep with you in an emergency, you have this in your office. You can grab it, slip it in your bag, and you're ready to go. The other thing you're going to do while you're grabbing things and throwing in, you're going to grab your medication, whatever it is you take on a daily basis that you need, shove it in there. Because it's really hard to run around and make sure your pack has your necessary pills all the time and rotate them. Instead, you have this you can throw in there. You can also throw in small things that you might want, lip balm, something specific for you that you're going to need. Throw it in there, throw it in your pack, and you're good to go. The other thing that you're going to get together real quick, again, within those 10-15 minutes, is if you have either rope or you have what I like, these really big ties, rubber ties. Every person is going to want an extra pair of pants, an extra shirt, and extra socks. Now, this might be different for you, and that might not be a priority for you, and that's fine. Where I live is more rural, and it's winter. A lot of 5 months of the year, it's winter here in northern Utah, and I like to keep dry. So this is something I will put together in those 15 minutes, throw them in my pack. Now, with all of this going in your pack, you got to remember, you want to keep your pack anywhere between 15 and 40 pounds, depending upon your ability. Now, how are you going to know that? load up your pack and go for a little hike. Then you'll know it's too heavy, it's distributed wrong, I need to fix that. That's what's going to help. It's just a little bit of practice on that so that you're ready to go when it happens. Now, I have a few of these, which are really nice. My wife got these for me. They are metal cylinders that seal up and can hold anything in there that you're going to need. Fire starters, matches, lighter, anything that you want to keep dry. Now, these are right around $9 or $10 for something like this, which is fine if you can afford that on Amazon. But a cheap alternative that works great if you're looking to cut costs or if you're not in a position to buy these yet is everybody has bottles, medicine bottles that they don't use anymore that normally you throw out. Well, you keep a couple of those. Now, here's a good example of a good medium-sized bottle. What I've done also is you're going to really want to pare down on what you have, but there's some stuff that can really help you depending upon where you're going to get. And one of those is duct tape. Duct tape is amazing for fixing, preparing, holding things together. I mean, it's great, but you don't want to run around with a heavy roll of duct tape. You're going to want to roll some up on that bottle. Now you have a certain amount of duct tape that you can use anytime. Then, because it's sealable and it keeps everything dry, you're going to want to put whatever you want in there. There's a couple things we'll go through first. First, everybody's going to want to start a fire. You're going to want to be able to start a fire. That's whether you're going to be going through an urban area or a wilderness area in your evacuation. So what you do is, you can get really fancy with it. Again, my wife bought this for me and I love it. It's really, really cool. It's a match that you light. You fill this with a lighter fluid. You strike it and then it lights and it stays lit really for a long time. Now, you may be saying, well, I'd love to have one of those, but they're kind of expensive. If you're not ready for getting something like this, and again, there's a million things you can do to start a fire. Big thing, you go back to this bottle, simple Bic lighter in there, or 2 Bic lighters to make sure that you have it. The other thing is there's a lot of different fire starters out there, and some are really great that you can buy online on Amazon. Here's a simple trick that will get you through if you're in a pinch or you want to pare back on the amount of money that you're spending on that. Everybody has this. It's lint from your dryer trap. You can make one of these every time you do your laundry. You pull it out, you roll it into a cylinder like this, then wrap it with tape. This thing will light and stay lit for a long time. It's perfect fire starter, and you already have it in your house. Put that in the bottle with your lighter, seal it up, and it's waterproof. Some other things you're going to want to keep. You're going to want paracord. This is not very expensive. And, it comes, you can buy this at Walmart. This is 50 feet and it's really cheap. I'm going to have a list of things and how much it costs in the comments so you can look it up and see where I got it and how much it is. You're going to want this. Paracord can be used for anything, even tourniquets. It can be used for tying things up. I mean, you're going to want this, even if you're in an urban setting or wilderness setting going out. Now, the other thing, emergency blanket. This is going to be perfect. If you're going to be stuck out at night, every person should have one. These are very super cheap. You just throw that in and they're also super light. If you have glasses like I do, okay, one thing that will drive you nuts when you're hiking, hunting, anything, is your glasses will fog up, especially where I'm at in northern Utah in the fall or whatever. You sweat and your glasses fog up. Now, you can buy really expensive stuff online to clean your glasses and then they'll stay fog free. Here's a tip to help you. Again, another just used medicine bottle with some line on it, just some simple nylon thread, heavy duty nylon thread. Then on the inside of it, you put a little Dawn liquid at the bottom. Just dishwasher liquid, Dawn dishwasher liquid. A little bit of that dabbed on both sides of your glasses, wiped off with microfiber, and it will stay fog free all day long. And it's cheap, inexpensive. You already have it, most of you. The other thing you want to make sure you put in this kit is some sewing material. You can see I have some of that thread on the outside of this one. Some other things that I like to do is simple piece of cardboard with a cut on both sides so you can wrap up a bunch of different thread. I have several different kinds of thread, and I picked those up at Army Surplus. This size, very cheap. This is going to last me forever. Everything that I do, it's great. I have that one, and I have this one, which is also a white nylon. Simply wrap them up, as you can see, on a piece of cardboard with a sewing needle in the middle, and you just keep it inside that medicine bottle. Cheap, easy, effective. Doesn't cost you anything. You're going to want headlamps. A lot of people will do flashlights. Flashlights are okay. I love a good headlamp because it sits on your head. You don't have to worry about it. Your hands free when you go through at night. And of course, you're going to want some extra batteries to go through it. If you're not familiar with your area in the wilderness or the urban area, carry a folded map, paper map, something that you're going to be able to use, write on, and understand. I happen to know the area that I'm in because I've lived here forever, and I know all the wilderness, everything like that. But what I keep onX on my phone because it's an app that allows me to download all the maps that I want and keep them stored on my phone. And because of that, I can always access them even if everything is down, the network's down, everything, I have access to them. And what's cool about onX is that you can turn on different layers to let you know geographically what it looks like, how steep, actually who owns the land. I'm not sponsored by onX, but could be. onX, listen, great sponsor. Anyway, onX is great for that. What I like to do also is have a charged battery. And you can also use a solar one. They get more expensive. These are fairly cheap at Walmart, though. You charge them up, throw them in your bag, and then you can charge your phone at any point. They also have ones that you can adapt for the batteries that you brought to charge your phone. On my belt at all times, I keep a Gerber or a Leatherman. It's a multi-tool. And these you can go as cheap as you want to. Little ones like this are like $5, and they will work fine just because of the work that I do and everything, because I've always got one on my belt because you never know when you're going to need it. I go with the more expensive one. I go with the really expensive Gerber one. But I love Gerber. I love Leatherman, and they've got every kind of tool you can imagine on here, from scissors, knife, screwdriver, you name it. I always keep one on me. I always like to keep one in my bag as well. Those are ones that you can't have too many of those. Now, water. You're going to want to be able to drink water when you're out there, but you don't know what you can access when you're out of the house, when you're gone. Couple options that you have. You have the tablets that you can do. I like a water straw. You keep a bottle with you and you can fill up your bottle and then use your water straw, or use your water straw to fill the bottle. These are not super expensive. They come in packs of 2 generally and will last you a long time. Here's some tips when you're either in the wilderness looking for water, whether you're in an urban area looking for water. You want to look for clear running water. Now, that doesn't mean that it's clean, but it's going to be more clean. And because you're using clear running water, you're going to gunk up your straw less. It'll last you longer. If you're using still muddy water, it can be used, but it's going to gunk up your straw quicker, and you're going to run out of that possibility. Other thing you need, obviously, we have a way to make a fire. If at all possible, if anything else fails, you can boil water. That's why it's great to have some of these. Now, Ozarks makes some that you can get at Walmart, really cheap. You can get some on Amazon that are also pretty cheap. I like to keep 2 because you just never know, and one can be for different sizes. They fit together and they're not that heavy. You're going to want to boil your water before you drink it and let it cool down. Okay. You want to have just a little bottle of, you see, this is hand sanitizer, but after the hand sanitizer is done, you can also fill it up with isopropyl alcohol. And that's important to keep wounds clean, to keep scrapes clean, clean off anything. You want just a little bit of alcohol. It'll also help start a fire if you absolutely need to. You sop just a little bit on the top of that dryer lint, and it'll go even quicker. But it's important to have some of this for any sort of emergency. Now, your emergency kit, your medical kit. This is one that I wouldn't skimp too much on. In a pinch, you can grab, the one out of your bathroom as you leave that you generally have different things like Band-Aids, bandages, stuff like this. But a good first aid kit, and I'll have listed where I got this one and what's in it. You want to be able to take care of as many injuries as possible. And this is a great kit at a good price. And it's not too heavy. Perfect. Now, when it comes to protection, I'm going to do an entire series on protection. But for what's in your bag and what you want to go, one thing that I have in here is a good axe. Now, this can be used for any different number of things, but also protection. It can also be used to clear brush. It can be used for all different kinds of things when you're going. Again, protection if you need it. And there's all different kinds of things that you can do with this axe that you may need when you're in the wilderness. The other thing too is it's very intimidating. What you really want to do is not get into a fight if you absolutely have to, obviously, but this can be intimidating if you're in a situation like that. Again, I'm going to go through all different kinds of, all different types of protection later in another video, but this is a good place to start. You also want a really good straight blade knife. Now, your Leatherman is going to come with a knife that's okay for doing different things. You're really going to want a good, sturdy, straight blade. I have several that I have. This one I actually inherited. It's been my hunting knife forever. You can see it's been used a lot. I keep it clean, but it keeps a really good edge. And the other thing is the tang goes all the way to the bottom, goes all the way through. So I know that it's going to hold up to a lot of abuse, which you may have to do, from opening cans to doing any kind of number of things. You're going to want a really good knife. These also range in price all over the place. I'll again post some places where some good knives can be found at a decent price. I generally keep two just because, again, I like to have that extra. I have that one. Then I have this one that I've made with, it's got a full tang that goes all the way through down. This one's sentimental too. That's why I keep it. But good blade, sharp, important to keep with you. Now, if you're in the UK, unfortunately, you're going to only have a butter knife. That's all they allow you to have to protect yourself. But do what you have to protect yourself. The other thing as well, I always keep one of these in there. It's just a knife sharpener. It's a simple knife sharpener that you can run your knives through several times. It's super light. And again, in a pinch, it's going to resharpen your knife, resharpen your axe. Ultimately, you'd rather have a stone and be able to do it the proper way. But this will get you through in a pinch. You can't run around with a stone because it adds a lot of weight. The other thing you're going to have in there at all times is a roll of toilet paper. It's light. Everybody has some in their house, and this can be used for a lot of things. But the most important thing is what you think it's for. And when you're in the woods or you're out there, you want this, trust me, and it doesn't weigh very much. The other thing that I would grab as I'm running out of the house is, first of all, I would grab some extra things like 5-Hour Energy and a bar. I always keep a bunch of power bars in there. That's going to be great for on the run. What you're going to want to keep in your bag is something like this. This is a 2,400 calorie food ration bar that's vacuum sealed and lasts 5 years. This is going to give you the calories you need to get through until you can find some better food. Um, but this one's apple cinnamon, and again, they last 5 years, and they're on Amazon. They cost about $9 a piece, but well worth it because of the calories that it gives you to keep going and going on. Now, you also may want to grab some freeze-dried food if you've got it in your food storage to go. Um, my wife and I are going to do a really cool video for you guys about different ones and different dried foods and their taste versus price, and go through that with you, because again, if you're on a budget, you want to work it out, you got to figure out what's best. But this, you simply add hot water to it and you eat it. Doesn't weigh anything because it's freeze dried. Couple more things that I have in there. I have some mesh straw bags that I throw in there. They can be used for anything. Carrying out meat, if you happen to have to kill an animal, or it's great when it's clean for bandages if you're in a pinch, or, this is great. So that's the vast majority of what I put in my pack. And that's going to save me in most situations when I have to evacuate. Now, there might be any number of reasons that you have to evacuate your home at any given time. Could be, depending upon where you are in the country, earthquake, storms. It could be a chemical threat, could be terrorist attack. And right now, we're in a place where things can go sideways really quickly. So, as a family, this is one thing you can do that you have, that if you have to leave your home, that you're prepared. And it will give you peace of mind. It will give your partner, your wife, peace of mind, and even the kids peace of mind. One thing that I used to do when I had younger kids is once every couple months, we would talk about what's in our pack and why. And if we're at school and there's an emergency, where are we going to meet? Have a spot to meet if the kids are at school or if you're at work, or where do you meet as a family? A couple other things when you're evacuating that you're going to want to do. A lot of people run their car, and I did for years, on a quarter of a tank of gas. You just run it on a quarter of a tank of gas. I felt like I was saving money, but I wasn't. Fill your car and have it always at least full 3/4 of the way. Because if you have to evacuate in a situation where you're going to drive your car, the first thing everybody's going to do is go to the gas station. You don't want to be one of those people. You want to have at least 3/4 of a tank at all times in your car so that you can get out far enough away if it's a situation where it's that kind of evacuation. I'm going to go through more tips later on in other videos about evacuation, or when you stay, when you go, how to determine that. We're going to get all into what you want to have at your house, what you want to have in your home, how you're going to prepare for power outages of 24, 48, 72, and permanent power outages. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon.